Okay, this is Judy Patterson with Old Country Notes with Don Thomas, my number one. He works- and we're here to interview Tommy Thomsen.
Howdy.
Spell Thompson for us.
Thomsen. Mom says we're the Dry Thompsons. No P.
Okay, good to remember. And we're in the Church of Western Swing building, which you currently own.
Yes, ma'am.
You grew up in Sonoma,
Sonoma, California, yeah.
and your love for Western Swing brought you to Texas, to
Right.
Turkey, Texas.
Right. My mother was a boogie woogie piano player.
Okay.
And she played for us kids. And then I started taking piano lessons at 7. And I could play, by the time I was 12, I could play her boogie woogie. And we always danced, so dancing was a part of it. And then she collected big band records. So I'd heard big band and boogie woogie, which is 2 parts of Western swing. Then when I got out of high school, I started a bluegrass band, Sonoma County Line, and had played Bob Wills fiddle tunes. That is Western swing, where you got a Dixieland jazz, you got bluegrass fiddling or country fiddling, and then you got great singers and great improvisation on the instruments.
Okay. So when you first came to Turkey, this building was owned by someone else.
By Henry Baker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Henry Baker, and his wife was.
His wife Doris.
Doris.
Yeah, Doris and Henry.
Okay.
There was
And-
2 sets of Bakers, Doris and Henry Baker and Bob and Ann Baker, no relation.
Okay. So how did you acquire it, and when?
Well, Henry passed away in 2018. And when he passed away, Doris didn't know really what to do. They didn't have a lot of money. She put on a little soiree out here to raise money for Henry's headstone. And I started talking to her, and nobody local was offering to buy the church. Nobody was stepping up, and that's probably because of the rebuild cost. I mean, a lot of people wanted it, and one guy suggested, well, why don't all the Western Swing Societies buy it, And so I went to my buddy Gary Beaver, who was the vice president of our organization, and he has the Cowtown Society of Western Swing. He passed away a couple years ago, but he told me, he says, well, why would you want to ask 6 people to spend $1? Why don't you just buy it yourself and do what you want with it? So I bought it myself and made an offer to Doris, and she kindly accepted that offer. And we started in 2018 rebuilding this church. And we have a 501c3 nonprofit. We have a wonderful relationship with Happy State Bank, now Continental Bank. And we're ready for a grant. We're almost ready for a grant.
Okay, so it was originally built as a
Assembly of God Church in 1926. This is the 100th anniversary of the church. And it's the 26th anniversary of the Church of Western Swing.
Okay. How did it get the name?
Well,
Church
Dr.
Western.
Charles Townsend, who wrote the book on Bob Wills, San Antonio Rose, who's considered, he was the expert. If you want to know anything about Bob, you asked him. If your name wasn't in the book, you probably didn't play with the Playboys. And if you didn't have a pay stub, And so he came in here right after they purchased it, and he pronounced it. He said, what you have here is the Church of Western Swing. So Dr. Charles Townsend named this the Church of Western Swing. And then they just started, we started adding to it year by year. Henry had it for 15 years and gathered a lot of these posters you see on the walls and the autographed. He had a lot of autographs on there. And the posters it's like a museum, really. We like to see the history of Western Swing, particularly in Turkey, where Bob was raised. He was a barber here.
Yep.
we could spend all day looking. That some of this were photos from your personal collection.
Yes.
And you had them blown up and
Yeah,
put
I
on the walls.
took my personal collection and got the best of what I found appropriate for this, venue. And blew it up and we put it up and we've decorated it. We've redone the kitchen. We added on this room right here. There's a room off to this, and I call it the fellowship room.
Okay, and we'll
Because,
go in there in a minute.
Because people can sit in there, there's 3 couches, they can sit in there and visit with each other and just be comfortable. And kids are free, and sometimes we have the kids do a special little dance. Jimmy plays Won't You Ride My Little Red Wagon, and then they dance, like they did this morning over at the museum.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
Yeah, little
That's
kids.
great,
So
yeah.
we want to get kids involved. That's really our goal, because we're all getting a little long in the tooth, and we need some kids to come up and take our place and show an interest in this wonderful musical legacy.
That's, those kids that you referred to are from the local school. And they were the most well-mannered children.
So I love
All
about
of them
Texas.
danced. All have had a wonderful relationship with their teachers.
Yeah.
It's the thing that will make a difference in the children's life if given exposed to it.
Yes.
So let's talk about the bandstand.
Yes.
A lot of my friends had played out here. Who's playing out here tonight?
Well, tonight we'll have a kid named Darren Brown from down Lubbock Way, and Darren's son gonna play bass, and they got a fiddler, and we got J.J. Reynolds gonna play some drums. They'll be opening up at 8 o'clock and play for an hour. And the main band is Buster Redwine. Buster Redwine took lessons for 2 years from Eldon Shamblin himself. So he's a direct connection.
Tell the people who Eldon is.
Eldon Shamblin was named by Rolling Stone magazine as the best rhythm guitar player in the world. Wow. And he was Bob's lead guitar player, sometimes manager of the band. And he and Tiny Moore came up with a lot of the musical intricacies of these songs. Twin guitars, twin fiddles, that's unique sound for Western swing that you don't get in other musics, And Greg Gibbs is on tonight. I'll be leading the band, and Jimmy Burson's coming on, and he's been around here, grew up here, raised here for years. His family's been here in the cattle business for 150 years, something like that. And he's he's a Christian gentleman, and he's a Bob Wills guy. Some of us are really over the top as fans of Bob Wills, and I want to know everything about Bob. And if you have some information that I don't know, let's sit down and talk. Because that's my goal, is to learn. I could teach college courses, and I'm going to start doing speaking tours around the country and introducing people to Western swing with a PowerPoint presentation, and play a little live, sing them, tell them a couple jokes, and hit them up for some money.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, tell me about these
Here's some
speakers.
homemade amps that were here, and Henry used these originally, and they're just wonderful pieces of folk art now, And now they have, of course, nice amps, PVs and whatnot, and modern stuff. This is my PA that I bring in every year, and my piano.
Now, what instrument will you be playing here?
I play piano and guitar and sing.
Okay.
And I play a rhythm guitar, and I used to play a lot of lead, but I like that that Eldon Shamblin rhythm. Every 2 beats is another chord, and you fit in between the bass and the drums, and that's the bass of the dance beat. And then the fiddles and the horn sections, we got Alfie Johns going to play saxophone, and we got Buster Redwine playing guitar, Greg Gibbs on the fiddle, and then we'll have a kid named Jordan Bramley from Arizona coming playing fiddle for us.
Okay.
And John Jones on bass, and Rob Crow's going to play some drums for us.
Good.
And what I particularly like is Roy and Dale back there. Get a shot of Roy and Dale.
I've got them.
And then there's Bob right there, and then there's another one of Bob. And then right to the right of that is Bob and all his brothers, Luke, Johnny Lee, and Billy Jack, who all had Western swing bands. Yeah. They were kind of the minor leagues to Bob. So when Bob needed a singer, he called up Johnny Lee and said, "Who you got?" He said, "Well, we got this guy here named Leon Roush." He said, "Well, send him out." He was in California at the time, at Wills Point. So sent him out there, and Leon Roush was enthralled. Of course, this is 58 with Elvis. Yeah. And Bob Wills told him first thing to go was the pompadour and the sideburns. Here's your hat, here's your white shirt, here's your bow tie, and your black pants. See you next week. And Leon stayed with him for, I think, well over 40 years as a singer for Bob Wills. He was my mentor and my hero, and in the end, my friend. And we did an album, tribute to a living legend, timeless tribute to a living legend, dedicated to Leon Roush right before he passed. So he got to hear what we did.
Can they get that album?
They can get that album at TommyThomsen.com.
Okay.
THOMSEN.
Yes.
Without a P.
And so I have some of my favorites up here. We got, some of the old Playboys, Tommy Perkins, and then this guy here, Truett Cunningham, was from Sacramento, and he taught me a lot about Western swing. He sang with Bob when Bob was down in Fresno. And there's Leon Roush, and we had Al Strickland, that old piano pounder. We got a wonderful piano pounder named Hank Schaefer, who comes from Philadelphia, but he couldn't make it this year. His father-in-law passed, and they had to take care of family business, and he is really good. Everybody wants Hank to play with them,
Tell me about the horns.
About?
The horns?
Yeah, the horns, well, these are just left over, and they were part, we just use them for decorations. Here's some drums right here. Here's another snare and drum. We're extra stuff. We like to have instruments hanging up.
Okay.
And people can see and touch the instruments.
Tell me about the guitar strap labeled Hank.
Well, I found this when I came in here at Hank, and then I thought, well, that'd go right good by the men's bathroom.
Yeah.
Right? That's Hank right
And
there.
you don't know if it's Hank Jr. or Hank Sr.?
I think it's Hank Jr.
Okay.
And then on to the right, I got to get a Dolly Parton. It's going to be Hank and Dolly.
Okay. Good. Okay, so I noticed the picture of Miss Lucy.
Yes, and Lucy Dean was still our good friend. I just talked to her, and she's in a rest home now in Lubbock. But I gave her the only award the church has ever given is the Angel of Western Swing.
Wow.
To Miss Lucy Dean, Lucy Dean record.
And she is.
And here comes Bobby Baker right now.
Okay. And tell me the picture of you getting the key.
Yeah, this is Doris giving me the key. We're in Lawton, Oklahoma at a Southwest Western Swing Music Society dance, and she gave me the official key to the church.
Okay, that was
the official.
what year?
And then that gal in the middle, that's my mom.
Really?
Yep, that's Mom in Shellville as a girl. She liked horses and ponies and whatnot,
What year did you get the key from her in Lawton?
2018.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's the Playboys right there, and there's Bobby right there. That gentleman right there playing steel was Cindy Walker. Or Cindy.
A little more gray in the mustache.
What's Cindy's last name, Bob? Cindy
Cash dollar.
Cash Dollar.
More right.
Cindy Cash Dollar. Here's Cindy Walker right up there. Cindy Cash Dollar.
Cindy Walker wrote songs, right?
Yeah, and that's her right up there.
Which one?
Right here.
Back up, get that.
Here's Cindy right here. Right next to Bob. And then here's the old Playboys.
She
Here's
wrote a
Curly
lot of
Lewis,
music.
was a great fiddler. Here's Dana Wills. Dana was Bob's niece, his sister Helen's kid. And she passed away about 3 or 4 years ago of brain cancer, poor thing. But here's, early Bob Wills poster. And then here's one from 2006. This is Leon McAuliffe, and here's Bob right here. Here's Leon Roush and Doris. And here's a gold record that Henry made. Henry Baker. Western Swing Giants. Play one for Mom. Don't you just love that? And then this is Rosetta. This is Bob's daughter, Rosetta.
The song.
And this was down at the gym, the gym theater. And she lived here, until recently. She's in Tulsa, lived with her daughter now.
Really?
And this is my partner, Freya, and myself. And then this is one of my posters of Bob playing the dance. And here's the Baker Brothers Band. No relation.
Okay. Tell me who's who. Which Baker?
Well, here's Bobby and Henry, and I don't know who the other fellows are. Bob would have to come over and tell me.
Okay.
But this is a nice couple here. I can't remember their names, but we just loved it that they danced with their dog.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You said the dog.
And then unfortunately, he passed away in an automobile accident. Just broke her heart, but they used to dance every dance with their dog. That's pet love.
Bob Wills and Punkin. That
Yeah.
his horse.
Here's a poster that I made of a benefit. I got a liver transplant 28 years ago. And this was a benefit that I had for the transplant. I'm one of the miracle like her. I'm a medical miracle.
There you are,
You know,
yes, sir.
that
Lord
I'm
left
still
here for a
playing
reason,
and-
Tommy.
And then then we got, there's Bo Cephas, Burt Reynolds, Kenny Rogers, And then here's 2003 with all the Playboys that signed it, There's Dana's signature right there. And then here's Bob and the big band without their cowboy hats. And this is, I don't know if you know who Miss Barbara Martin is.
No.
Barbara Martin was the documentarian of Western Swing. If you want to know where any band in the United States is playing a Western Swing at any particular time,
Okay.
she had a pamphlet that she put out monthly. And it had all the listings, the Western Swing. And she just loved Leon. And I got this picture, I took this picture and then I got it blown up. And she just about fainted when I gave it to her. She looked like a 12-year-old school kid. Just next to her hero, And then more Bob. And here's a 2003 when Tommy Perkins passed away. Here's everybody who played at the Church of Western Swing in 2003.
Okay.
And then this is the band that J.D. Barnum was in and Bobby was in for years, Cow Jazz. And they had a bus and they toured around just like Bob did, and they drove around, did gigs and stuff like that. I got to play with them a couple times. And then more autographs, more Bob. There's a good picture of Bob. See, these are all Bob Wills days, 2012. And here's 1978, one of the first ones. It started in 72.
The 7th annual, yeah.
And the pulpit,
Yeah, is that
The-
original?
Yeah, this is the original pulpit that the pastor used, and we use it now for collecting money. And the lady sits back here and collects for the money to come in. Here's one of my favorites. I like this. What do you mean, who's Bob Wills? Hey, what do you mean, who's Bob Wills?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think there's another collection of Western swing that matches our collection.
it's certainly large.
We were at the museum this morning up there at City Hall, and
Yeah.
they don't have a third of this.
Yeah, and then here's a couple of my posters down there. And then here's Bobby Wynn. He was a great singer and he played some steel. And here's Bob when he was in the movies. I think Bob did about 24 movies. Here's all the Playboys in front of the bus, of course. And there's a great documentary about buying that bus. He found a bus up in Vancouver, Canada, and they shipped it down, and then they made a documentary how they got it off that trailer and into where it is right now. And there's a documentary online.
The one that about the Phillips.
Yeah, and then he had it painted like that and stuff, you know. The guy who was a psychiatrist, and he rebuilds that signal station. He does that all these little towns all over Texas. He rebuilds these old things as a hobby,
Yep.
you know. You've got a couple of beans to rub together, you know. You got some money, time, and then Melissa Meyer. Gloria Meyer was the queen of Western swing. She had the Legends of Western Swing in Wichita Falls for years. And her granddaughter painted this. And Melinda was her right-hand partner. And she gave it to me a couple years ago to put up here.
Lower right-hand corner, I think there's signature.
And this is the McKinney sisters. And Dean married Tiny Moore, and Evelyn married Billy Jack. And they traveled with Bob, and they were the Andrews sisters of Western swing. And their big hit was, I love this, there's a silver moon over the Golden Gate.
Okay.
Beautiful song.
Yeah.
There's Blub Reese, saxophone player with Bob. He hung out here a lot, and Henry hired him a lot. Gene Watson, one of my favorite singers. Don Walzer, best yodeler out of Austin, Texas. Jana Jay, the fantastic fiddler from Idaho. And then this is a reserve for the church ladies,
Okay.
right here. The special ringside seats.
With all the homemade quilts and
Yeah.
pillows.
Keep it homey. Yeah, with this place is full, it's the best music.
Oh, yeah, no.
We had a guy from Texas Monthly Magazine. He came down to Turkey to do an article. And he was over at the big dance. And somebody told him, you ought to go over there at that Western Church of Western Swing. He came over here, and his mind was blown.
Yes.
And he wrote up in this article, the best place to hear live Western swing in Turkey, Texas, at Bob Wills Day is the Church of Western Swing. Once you get the bodies in here and you get the band playing, and it's just so, that fellowship room, it's just a nice experience for folks, you know.
Okay, we're gonna pause.
Yeah.
And I thank you for this far.
Yes, ma'am.
And we're gonna do phase 2, and we'll go look at the parsonage and the new sitting room.
Great.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.